if you take care of somebody, if you're always taking care of somebody, God gonna always take care of you. We're all the athletes, right? We're just competing in the sport of life.
It's not just that you had this idea, but you had mentors, and like
Hmm.
you put the effort in to connect with people who can push you forward. But a lot of people struggle with that experience of finding mentor. Like, where do mentors come from for you? Welcome, greetings, and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the Pancakes from Scratch podcast. My name is Ernest Comer III, and this is where I like to talk to good people doing good things. Today is no exception. I've got the big homie, Deandre Carroll. What's going on with you, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Everything's
Good
good.
stuff.
Always good.
Good stuff. I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad to hear it. Like I said earlier, I'm still recovering. We had a good little gym session this morning, put me through it. My knees is still cussing at me a little bit, but I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right. So I have a handful of questions that I like to dig into during these podcasts. But before we dive into it too far, man, I want to start with what's giving you energy this week? What's giving you energy, brother?
What's giving me energy this week is it's the start of a new year. People like to say new year, new me, but really it's about same you, but new ideas, right?
Mm,
New processes. You're thinking new ways. That's what it's all about. Just trying to grow. That's really it. That's what it's about. Right now, we got our self love challenge going on, so that's what's giving me a lot of energy. All right, because that is a challenge that's focused on, self love. You don't hear a lot of that, but
mm.
that's what it's all about. Trying to be the best you, get a healthy start to the year, right?
That's what's up. I love it, man. So why self-love? What is that all about?
Man, self love has always been, I guess, a big aspect of mine. Because if you can't love yourself, then you can't love other people, right? You
Oh,
heard the
it's a
term
fact.
hurt people, hurt other people. So people that love themselves gonna love other people as well. So that's why self love is a big thing.
Okay. Okay. Do you feel like that's part of you said new year, new ideas. Is that like a direction you head in this year? Or is that just something that's always been a part of you?
That's always been a part of me. You know, just being confident but humble, being grounded, right? But always trying to strive for the best, strive for excellence. So it's always been something that's been instilled in me since I was, a little boy. So
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Good stuff. Good stuff. Um, so one of I guess the first question I have is really around, when you reflect on life growing up, either on a personal level or on a professional level, reflect on like some of the challenges you had to face. Uh, is there one that stands out to you? Something that you went through that like really took you through it, that really stretched you or created a lot of trauma in your life that you had
mm.
to overcome, but it stands out as something that really shaped who you become.
Man, I got quite a few things, but I can kind of just make it a short story.
Okay.
I lost my brother when I was 6. He was 9 from a brain tumor, um, and that was traumatic. But I think the positives I took from it was my parents, the way they were able to, you know, be strong, have that peace, right? Um, and so watching them, you know, deal with things like that, it just kind of, as an adult, and you got your own kids, just thinking about how you react if something like that happened to one of your children. But just to see them and how strong they were, it kind of shaped me from a younger age. And then just moving through and, just I was a former basketball player. So that was like a big dream of mine, right? But I had some bad injuries, made some bad decisions. And from there, I didn't get to fulfill that dream. But within that, I believe everything that you go through, you're gonna use it eventually one day in life. And that kind of gave me the vision as far as, trying to, going the route that I'm going now. It was always something that I wanted to do. But I did it, you know, I was doing it for free because it made me happy, right? I was helping
That's
other
it.
people.
Yeah.
Um, and then it turned into a whole lot more. And then from there, I would say, what gave me my why was, my son. He had a few violent seizures when he was, 18 months. That was like the first one. That was like probably of my adulthood, like the most traumatic thing I've been through because he was only 18 months and, we thought we lost him. And
Yeah, man.
him, just being a champ, that's his nickname, just being a champ because
What's
they
up?
told us all type of stuff. But, I'm a big faith man. So I had faith and
Yeah.
yeah, he came out on top. So that gave me a why, just the why I'm stretching myself, right? Instead of,
Yeah.
letting things take me down. So that's a short story about, what got me where
Yeah.
I'm at now as far as, what we're talking about now.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. That's some heavy stuff. Yeah, I can't imagine. 18 months had a
Yeah.
seizure.
Yeah,
That's
it was bad when
unimaginable.
they couldn't stop it. So they thought he was, he wasn't gonna make it from that, but he did. Yeah.
Okay, so with these moments, and like we're not talking about little things, right? Like this is major. You lose a sibling, and then you're knocked off of this career path that you had in mind. And I mean, it's more than a career path at that point. Like especially when you set your sights on athleticism on a professional level. Like in my mind, not that I know, but in my mind, that feels like it's more than just a job, right?
A
It's
job,
more than a
right?
9 to 5 situation. So, like, to move through that experience and then to have the situation with your son, man, how do you not only like recover from those moments, but continue to push through? Like, because the ambition has to be there, right? To achieve the things you've achieved.
Right, right.
Like, where does that come from?
Um, Number one, like I said before, my faith in God. Number two is I come from a strong family we've had a lot of trauma, a lot of things happen, and just growing up watching my dad, my mom, my uncles, aunties, them pushing through a lot of adversity. Just I just took that on, and that stuck with me. And of course, I do a lot of reading. I have a lot of mentors. I don't know if you're familiar with David Goggins.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
Navy SEAL.
this was one of my favorite books I read. And right now, I'm reading what is it? UOU by, I don't know if you know,
Yeah,
E.T. the hip
Eric
hop
Thomas.
preacher by Eric
Yeah,
Thomas. So people like that, man. I kind of I say latch on to because I can kind of feel like, okay, we got a certain connection, right? And if they can get through it, then I'm definitely going to get through it, right?
that's it.
Um, so things like that, man. And plus, I've traveled all over the world, um, playing ball, and
Oh, okay.
being with my brother. I was his personal manager for a time, and he traveled all over, so I got to meet a lot of people, and just stuff like that kind of shapes you.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it shapes you and just makes you look at the world different, right? And I forgot. I mean, at one point in time, I was a firefighter too. So just seeing the uh, other side, man, just seeing how people, you know, the things they grow through.
yeah.
You know, I think I've had times where I had people that, well, I know I did. I had a guy that, died right there in my face and was looking at me like, don't let me die. And all I could do was be strong for him and,
Mm,
uh, so a quick little prayer. And I ain't even know him. It was just, when you're in a job like that, you try not to put your feelings into it, but it's hard if you care
Yeah.
about people. You know what I mean?
Nah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. You like you pour your life into these roles that you have because it's not just about a paycheck. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
about the impact that you're having on the people that you are being a resource to. Uh, but like those, I don't know, man. The vibe that I get from you, bro, is that you tend to pour a lot of yourself into the things you do. Does that feel true?
yeah, yeah. It is very much so.
So what's that about, man? Why, like, what's going on with that?
I mean, just like the brand, like Drayfield Lifestyle, how I even got that started. Because that's what it's all about. It's about a lifestyle, right? Um, and I kind of connected with people on different levels. And so when I first started, it was something that I wanted to focus on, but not just, the fitness and the health. It was men's grooming. It was fashion consultant, right? It was all those things because while I was traveling, I was meeting just different people, like my brother teammates and things like that. And you know how sometimes people kind of gravitate towards you. So they would
Yeah.
gravitate towards me, and I'm kind of helping them out. I'm like, but bro, a big bro, you in the league, man. What you know? But it was one of those things like that, and I don't know. It just became a passion of mine. And when you pour yourself into something, it's gonna give itself back to you.
That's it.
May not
That's
do it in the beginning, but eventually you keep, you stay consistent. It will.
that's what's up, man. I love it. I love it. Tell me about these travels, bro. You've been to how many countries you say?
Countries. I've lived out of the country. Just it was Toronto, but I mean I've lived in but Memphis, Brooklyn, like I said, Toronto, Florida. Um, Well, else? I feel like I'm missing some places. Nashville at one point in time, Tennessee.
Okay.
Um, I've been all over. I'm probably missing a lot of places, but yeah, I've been
Nah,
all over. Met a lot of people. Like I said, it was a lot of people that my brother played with, and then I just kind of connected with them on a different level, so we became friends. Um, Also, of course, just sometimes being a consultant for them, training them on different things, right? And not knowing that, hey, one day this would be what you're supposed to be doing, right?
that's
Um,
it.
yeah, and so I feel like that all that came about then. Like when I started, actually, when I got my certification, I thought about my uncle way back when. And he just, people pouring to you, right? You believe it.
Hmm.
And I remember him pouring into me, and he was just like looking at me like, man, hey, you got something and you're gonna do something. You just keep on going. You're gonna do something. And I felt it, right? It's one of those
Yeah.
things that you feel. And I remember that conversation, man, sitting at we got a restaurant called Sneaky Pete's. It's like the best hot dog you'd ever eat. And
Okay.
it was sitting at the Sneaky Pete's, man, and he told me that, and he was just looking at me. I'm like, oh, why are you looking at me like that? He said,
Yeah.
because you got something, man. You're gonna be something. I just remember him saying that. And
That's
I
what's up.
never stopped believing that, right?
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but it's crazy how somebody can have an impact on your life with a moment like that.
yeah.
Like your uncle, he might have like said that and moved on from that moment. He might not even remember 10 minutes later. But it's one of those things that stick with you. I got an uncle, he passed some years ago, my Uncle James, man. And we were at
Sorry
a
to hear.
family, it's, he lived a good life. He lived a life well lived. And we were at a family reunion. He came out with his shirt on. I was like, oh, I like that shirt, man. It's nice. Little linen. And it had like a bird on the back look like a phoenix or something. Like, man, this is a nice shirt, man. My uncle said, you like this? And he went and changed and gave me the shirt off his back, man.
That's what's up, man.
Off his back. And that's a memory that sticks to me,
Yeah,
and like a lesson in being willing to, like it's not this like that pouring into somebody, but it's giving. You know what I mean? Like being ready to give, willing to give, whatever, as much as the shirt off your back. And
exactly.
yeah, it's those moments though. They're fleeting, but they stick with us, and it's really one of those things that keep people's spirits alive, and the folks
Yeah,
that live, they're gone, man. So that's powerful.
that is, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he believed. I forgot who told me this. Oh, it might have been my mom who said, like, if you take care of somebody, if you're always taking care of somebody, God gonna always take care of you. Like, and that's how we're supposed to live, right?
Yeah.
You taking care of somebody, doing something for other people. God will always take care of you. So, big believer in that, like
Yeah.
giving back. Yeah.
And you taking care of a lot of people, man, through this whole lifestyle fitness thing, brother. Okay, now for me personally, I'm like, listen, I know I want to live as long as possible and as well as possible. Uh, but like the adoption of a fit lifestyle or a healthy lifestyle, like that's been out of my scope, right? It's not even something that I had really thought about. Um, but I've worked with a few trainers and had some really good experiences, but I'm a very off and on person when it comes to that.
Hmm.
So I'm super curious about like how you first made the decision to lean into the brand that you built, and like the way you structured the type of work that you do for people. Um, but like just getting into this space, like it's a million ways to help people. How did you choose fitness as your way to be a resource?
Um, like I said before, like I've always enjoyed doing it, more so like a hobby. And, like I said before, I used to train with some of my brother teammates, like Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay used to train with him, Darrell Arthur. They both were at Memphis at that time. But then when I got to Toronto, Corey Joseph, I don't know if you know who that is, Kojo. He was at Toronto at that time. I think he played for Detroit now. And just, training with him, training with my brother, and, he wanted more, he wanted to be bigger, right? He wanted to be stronger, faster. And so I would just work with him on little stuff. And he just was like, man, you need to be getting paid for this, and just kind of threw me some money. I was like, bro, you don't need to do that. He was like, no, like this type of stuff, bro, you need to be getting paid for. And
Um,
so from that, I just kind of looked into it like, man, I might be able to do something like this, right? So I started talking to some of their strength trainers and things like that. And, just got the resources together and I did it. And then from there, I just kind of started training. And of course, they had a lot of contacts and, being a personal manager, I met a lot of people. So they kind of poured into me as far as like my startup. And what I ended up getting like a brand ambassadorship, like modeling deal with like an athletic company down there from all that.
wow,
Um,
cool, man.
and yeah, so I was like, okay, it's all coming together. And plus, it wasn't no barbershops down there. So I had to, you know, I always try to cut my own hair and edge my own self up and things like that, and edge my brother up and,
Yeah,
trim him up. So that became a thing too. So all this stuff just kind of started all down there, right? Um, and then when I end up moving back here, I had my son move back here. Um, my brother's wife, his sister-in-law, opened up a gym, and I wasn't familiar with the gym. I'm looking at it like, what are they doing in there, right? But me, I love a good challenge. And at that time, I kind of learned what they were doing, but I mastered it, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn how to do so. If I'm challenged with, especially with a workout or something like that, or teaching something new, I'm gonna learn it to the best of my ability. And I did that. And so from that, I'm like, I met this guy named Kai Evans. He's a celebrity trainer, but a group fitness strategist is what he called himself. But I mean, he became my mentor. Uh, Dude was just, I mean, brilliant, right?
Yeah.
And meet somebody who passionate like that, you passionate. And so we just linked up and I've been dealing with him ever since. And I remember him just pouring stuff into me like, what can really take this business over is, you guys got to go and do your homework, right? He was like, you got to do your homework. Okay. He was like, man, you got to go and go to an Orange Theory, right? Just
You go.
look at how they work Orange Theory. Look at the customer service. Look at this. He didn't know I took that as serious as I did because I ended up leaving, and that's what I did. Like Orange Theory had never had an idea that I was, pretty much just studying, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and so I did. I went there, and from within 6 months, man, I was like had my own Orange Theory. I was running my own Orange Theory, right? But just because, like I said, it was just I found my passion, right? Things didn't work out there, but it was like God was telling me it was your time, right? And so that's why I ended up, doing my own thing. And when I did my own thing, I already had all these visions. It just all came together. Um,
Yeah, man.
Looking
So
for
the brand,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, the whole the Ford reform, like what's up with the Forders, man?
Forrest, first of all, I'm a superhero geek, right? That's where we get the 4D logo from. Like I just saw the Fantastic 4D logo and just kind of, made it my own logo. And the four dimensions kind of came from, just me being an athlete, right? And I had this whole thing like, we're all the athletes, right? We're just competing in the sport of life, right? And so
Mm,
that's the feel I wanted everybody to have, right? So, in athletics, you focus on your speed, you're focusing on your conditioning, you're focusing on strength, and you're focusing on power, right? You master all four of those things, you become like what? The superior athlete, right? But anybody
mm,
can do it. And from there, I just came in with the 4D, right? Because we're
mm.
working on everything within those four dimensions. Um, and dimensions just sounded way cooler than stations, right? So
Facts.
I said dimensions, right? Like, because it came into this whole thing where, like, okay, we're going to transport to this next dimension, right? That's where the superhero stuff started to come in. That
Got you.
so I want people to have an experience when they come, right? Not
Yeah,
the workout's supposed to be fun. Um, you're getting your butt kicked, but you want to have fun doing it. You want to create community. You want people to have an experience. So when they leave, like they're happy, they're telling people about it, right?
yeah.
Uh, that's what it's supposed to be about. Not one of those things you dread to do. Like I tell people all the time, if you dread to go working out, you're just not doing it right, right?
Oh,
Because it's
come
gonna
on.
help you. It's gonna help you mentally and physically, and it's not gonna be easy, right? But again, you're gonna get stronger, right? And you're gonna get better at it. It's just about staying consistent. All right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
the whole
Absolutely.
40 thing was just I don't know. Sometimes I see stuff and I want to go with it, and that's where it came from. Yeah.
Hey, that's it. You see it, you bring it to life, man. That's the work. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've worked with a few trainers like in life, and like I've had some great experiences, man. Work with a ton of great folks doing some like who have super dope approaches to like just finding the right path for the person to
Mm-hmm.
get to their wellness. And I think what's been most beneficial for me in those experiences was when there's a group of people, right? It's not just the individual, but it's either me and the wife, or it's me and a few folks that we teamed up and we're all like, we got our fitness family, right? Yeah, like I think that was my most recent trainer, my guy D out of Minnesota. He's like, yeah, we got to get a fitness family together. And I think the biggest difference from those experiences work with you. First, it's the in-person thing, but also you got your own space. Uh, and like, I've never worked with the owner of the gym. I've worked at a
Mhm.
gym where somebody's like on hold space, but work with the owner of the gym and the way that you're curated, like what the experience not only feels like but looks like. Like when you walk in, from the red lights to the type of equipment that you have, like what's the mindset behind the design of what it looks like when you walk in the gym?
Um, so the red light, first of all, red is my favorite color, but
Okay.
the red light also represents like in a dark room, your picture is developed, right? And that's in the red room, right? The dark room is a red room. And so it's one of those things where you in this light, your picture's gonna develop. And it just makes it a more intimate type of workout, right? But then you include the music, right? And that is for me is the hardest part because you want to find the right mixes, right? Keep the energy up, keep the flow going. Because not everybody likes the right music, but um, that's something that I try to work on as far as just trying to figure out people's personality, the music that they like, and you know, try to get the right playlist for that class.
Yeah.
Um, and then I don't know, man. Like I said, I want people to have fun while they're working out, right? I want them to leave out of here. Like my mentor said, he was like, a great workout is should feel like, um, excuse my French, just like you just got through having sex, right? You tired, but it was a good time, right? It was a good time. So that's how you want them walking out of here, like, oh man, I got my butt kicked, but it was a really good time, right? So
Like
I
I
keep
like
that in
that.
mind. Like you want them to just, you know, I tell them at the same time, it's gonna be the funnest part of your day, but it's gonna be the hardest part of your day, right? And once you go out to the rest of your day, right, everything should be easy because you just finished the hard part. But in
Yeah.
the back of your mind, it was so fun. I can't wait to do it again, right? One of those
No,
things. Yeah.
no, 100%, man. That's been my experience to the times I've been there. Um, and me and the wife, when we go in, she like constantly talking about how, she's feeling a major difference just in like moving through the day, right?
Hmm.
And the same is true for me, like just having a different level of energy, but not only in just in that day, but also like in general, as we move through the week, because we're going in a couple times a week, we move through the week and just like, yeah, I'm not exhausted midday. I don't necessarily need that midday nap like I had been before. Stuff like that. It makes a huge difference, man. So
Yeah,
you got
that's what
something
it's
good
about.
going over there.
That's what it's about. Longevity, man. It's about the lifestyle. And I just want people to be able to do something that they can be consistent at, right? That's what life is all about. That's why when it comes to the nutrition part, I try to make it as simple as easy, something that you could take with you and you can continue this, throughout your life, right? And it's just teaching you healthy choices. Yeah, I want to be that one-stop shop, and I want Reformed by Drayfield lifestyle to take over the nation, man. Right? That's my dream. That's my goal. Um,
Yeah.
Eventually, franchise it out, and hey, you can have a Reform by Ernest somewhere, right?
Oh,
Saying
okay. All right.
something like that, right? So that's the goal. Get it to that level. Yeah.
Man, let me mess around and go buy a trademark real quick. Give me a minute. Let me we go see. That's what's up though, man. But you mentioned a couple times now that like it's not just that you had this idea, but you had mentors and like
Mhm.
you put the effort in to connect with people who can push you forward. But a lot of people struggle with that experience of finding mentor. Like where do mentors come from for you?
Um, I think God just put him in my life, honestly. From besides the people, I told you I had to read their books and, I kind of pay attention to the stuff they do on the internet. Like what Jeff Cavalier, James Grage. It's just those are people that you kind of look for, right? But
Yeah.
as far as Kai went, he just kind of, you know, once my sister-in-law kind of introduced me to him, like we just connected on a different level because his expertise was celebrities, but not only celebrities, but he had worked with a few basketball players, like Ron Artest being the biggest, right?
Okay.
Um, yeah, so he was familiar with working with athletes like me, and so we just kind of connected. And from there, I just really never lost touch with him. As he had just came to kind of train us for that 1 week, but he didn't know that 1 week kind of inspired me as much as it did, right? But like I said, we continue to stay connected. And so when I was like, I got this vision, man, I'm about to just turn this whole thing around. I was like, man, I need you, right? And he came, and him and his wife, they came, and you know, they kind of helped me get to where we are right now, right? Um, so yeah, it's just you got people that God sent into your life, man. They make a world of difference. And speaking of
Yes, sir.
one, you got Sandy on the line. Like she has been a blessing. Really, she has. She's I probably wouldn't be able to do this whole jam thing without her.
Hey, that's
But
what's up, man.
she's been there since we opened up the doors. So, you don't get
Oh,
people like
wow.
that. Yeah. Yeah. You don't
Wait,
get
wait,
people like that. So
when you open up?
we opened up in 2021. We started developing everything during COVID actually. I think,
Wow.
I want to say 20. All right. So when we break it down, I'll say about 2016, 2017 is when I like got the vision right.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, when I was actually back here, I started working on everything, right? Little by little. And then 2020, yep, we started doing the build out. And then, yeah, 2021, we opened,
That's
right?
what's up.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. Well, congratulations, man. You got a good thing going, man.
yeah.
For real.
I appreciate it, man.
So aside from, or maybe including starting this whole gym, do you have a professional experience that you would say that you're most grateful for, either because of like how it impacted who you became or because of like how you benefited from that experience? Is there something that stands out like, man, I wouldn't be who I am without this experience?
I would say those 2, 3 years I was a firefighter. Um,
Ah,
because first of all, I was already disciplined from the sports, but being a firefighter teaches you to be super disciplined because you can die or you can hurt somebody else or those things are gonna make you, and then just the people that I met at the fire department, um, from chiefs to the lieutenants to the captains and things like that, man, you meet some people, like you meet some strong men and they came from all walks of life, right?
yeah.
Um, taught me a lot of stuff. I learned a lot about, you know, being a man. I say that, and it was a good experience. And like I said, just seeing the other side, right? Because as a firefighter, you mean 80% of your calls are going to be EMT calls, like the medical calls, where the
Yeah.
20% is going to be fighting the fire. So most people get into it like, oh, I'm going to go fight fire. This is going to be fun. They
Yeah.
don't know about the 80%. The 80% is like you're going on calls. You got to go, uh, see a kid who passed out, right? You got to go see this old person who you got to do CPR on, and they might not make it, right? You see a lot. You got to go to the slums. You got to go to the hospitals where you got women that's been beaten, and just it's crazy places you got to go, right? And just seeing that stuff will just change your perspective about life altogether. Like just make you more grateful,
Yeah,
right?
man. I can believe it.
Yeah.
I
So
can believe
yeah, so I mean, I miss those guys, but I know they're doing all right.
it. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Like I'm guessing that has some influence too. I know you said with the gym, um, you do some stuff for like elderly folks in their
Yep.
fitness?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do a senior citizen class. Right now it's on pause because of the season, but it'll come back again in the summertime. But yeah, senior citizen class. I do a few of them, and it's typically just getting them back to moving again, right? Lifting their spirits, because those people lift my spirits. You go in there and you making their day, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
dog.
and you playing a little music, getting them moving a little bit, like if you went into places like that and you saw like how you lift their spirits, doing stuff like that, it'll lift your spirits as well. I just take my daughter in there sometimes just so she could see. And she was smiling from ear to ear the whole time she was in there. She was like, they so funny, Daddy. And I was like,
That's what's up.
they living life, right?
That's it. That's
So
it.
yeah, that and then eventually, man, I want to do some stuff with kids with autism because my son, after all that stuff that he went through, he was diagnosed with autism because he just had those brain injuries and yeah. So from that, yeah, that's something I want to do. Because people kind of don't really know what to do with kids because they all on different spectrums of life, and so you don't really know.
Yeah.
I think people are learning more about it, but just to do something in fitness with them, I think would be a big thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
So
it, man.
that's something big I want to do. Yeah.
That's
And
what's
we
up,
gonna make
man.
it.
It's this our conversation is making me realize something. Um, there's a lot of people you might have a conversation with, and everybody doesn't get to experience like a dream career, right? Having a dream job or whatever.
Mhm.
Uh, Everybody doesn't get to experience a ton of fulfillment from the work that they do, and there's a lot of people who will, talk about how they wish they could do work where they just have an opportunity to touch more lives in a
Mhm.
more meaningful way. And what our conversation has helped me realize is it's not necessarily the job you have, it's the person you are, man.
Mhm.
Because like as you tell these stories about things you've experienced in different spaces where you know it was just what you were doing, whether that was as a firefighter, somebody who was just helping the team, right? Because it was fun for you. And now as somebody who owns the gym and like pouring into people's lives in this way, it's not the, it's not really the job that you had, it's the person that you are that I think is having a massive impact on a lot of lives, man. And so
Mhm.
I just got to give you a shout out for that, bro. It's major.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. But I also had to give my brother a shout out because if it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't got a chance to experience a lot of the stuff that I experienced, even working in the dream job, because he was a big part of it. He my little big brother, so he worked my nerves a lot, but he pushes me a lot too. So yeah,
It's all
yeah,
right, man.
give him a shout out too. So
It's all good. I love it. I love it. Uh, so one of the things I like to talk about, with this Pancakes from Scratch podcast,
hmm
is food, right? So at some point we had to come to it. Because the podcast is called Pancakes from Scratch. The idea really came from like there's something at this intersection of food and culture and ambition and like who we become and what we choose to create.
hmm
But also, there's the metaphor of, you got to put some messy ingredients together to create something that's going to be nourishing and fulfilling. Um,
hmm
so all that being said, man, when I was young, my favorite food was French toast. So I go to my mom every day, pretty much like, "Hey, can we hook up some French toast?" And mom would be like, "Nah, we don't really have all the ingredients. We ain't got the time." And later on I found out French toast was just eggs and bread. And I got real upset. I'm like, hook up some eggs and bread. uh, but now, her grandkids is here. Her and my dad, they got all the time in the world to make pancakes from scratch. So I'm like, okay. Clearly,
Okay. That's awesome,
you
man.
love your grandchildren more than your children. That's fine. That's fine.
So that's
Um,
where it all came from. Yeah, that's
that's where
awesome.
it came from, man. That's
Yeah.
the origin story. You know what I'm saying? Since you're a superhero fan, that's my origin story.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I love it.
so
That's how you
question
got
for you,
started with
man.
pancakes from scratch. I like it.
That's it. That's it. For you growing up, is there a food that you fell in love with as a kid?
Oh man, um, I like a lot of food, but typically it'd be if it's eggs for breakfast and chicken for the rest of the meals. I'm good to go. So, but I'm trying to think early in life. Early in life, kids that love pizza, right? But later on in life, it became more about chicken. I remember growing up, my parents buying chicken at least 2, 3 times a week, and so we got tired of it. We hated eating chicken, like just hated it, not knowing that it was going to be one of my favorite foods.
Yeah.
Later on. But yeah, back then it was pizza. We look forward to those pizza nights back in the day. Yeah.
1,000%. I'm already knowing, man. We used to get the as we was little Pizza Hut had the Bigfoot pizza. I don't even know if you know that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I used to
Pizza
go
Hut
down.
was that was it. Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, because the thing with food is like it's not just about the food that tastes good, right? It's a whole experience. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because to your point, like it's not just I like eating pizza. No, we had pizza night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that was a
yeah,
whole experience.
yeah.
And from the shopping to buy the chicken to the prep and cook and to the serving and everybody eating together, like all those moments, man, those moments, like I said, that are fleeting for a lot
Hmm.
of us, they have a massive impact over time to the point
Yeah,
where they create your favorite food. They create, how you do things and your approach to the
exactly,
work you do and the life you lead. So it's some power in that, man. There's something in that for sure.
exactly. Do you remember Friday nights was TGIF? You
Oh,
remember
come
that?
on, man.
That's what I remember, man. Friday nights with the pizza, TGIF. Yeah.
That's it. That's how it goes down.
Hey, you see,
Absolutely.
that's why I start my Fridays off with TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, but then I also say thank God it's Monday. Yeah.
Yep. There it is, man. That's how it goes. We was little. We used to, whenever it was a birthday party or what I'm saying, the crew get together, all the kids.
Hmm.
It was always pizza. Wasn't a question what we was eating. It was always pizza.
Right.
And we was
Right.
gonna sit up and try to watch a scary movie and mess with each other all night. That's just how we live
Right.
life.
Those are the moments and the memories right there. You still remember. That was good. Good times.
That's it, man. That's it. So it's life comes together. I
Yep,
know
it
that
does.
much.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Everything that you went through, you will use, right? Eventually. So
It's all good. Well, look, man, I didn't have a whole lot of other questions for you, but before we go, I want to
all
give
right.
you a chance to just offer up any final words, final thoughts, a little last piece of advice.
Um First, everybody follow me, right? Follow the gym at Reformed by Dre Fit Lifestyle. My personal IG page is going to be Dre Fit Lifestyle. Then also YouTube, you got Dre Fit Lifestyle. Facebook, same Reformed by Dre Fit Lifestyle. And TikTok, I think it's Reformed by Dre Fit Lifestyle. We got to work on that one, but we're going to be on TikTok. All right, in 2023, we're going to start doing some TikTok videos once my daughter showed me a little bit more on how to use
Hey.
it. Yeah. But I mean, life is what you make it, man. Yep, just staying positive, man. It's not gonna be easy, but you're gonna get stronger, right? Most of all, stay motivated, stay dedicated. That's it.
That's it. That's it. Hey, I appreciate you making the time.